through 6 bouts, yet to see one make it to the second round, but perhaps this could be it. It'll be Fort Wayne's Jesus Colleen against Julian Connerton out of Maine, set to make his debut.
Well, this one is certainly a wonderful fight. You're going to hear the fans really respond to Jesus when he comes out. But I want to go back because I feel like I owe Brits fans an apology, because right at the end of that round, my heart is all in the idea that we're going to make it to the second round. And when we get to finish, I yell, no, because I thought we finally did it. So yes, I think this might be the one. Congratulations, Britt Bickert. Wonderful fight. And here is Julian Connerton coming out with Nate Libby. Nate Libby's first fighter, Tyler Smith, got the win. And now Julian is making his MMA debut. Important to note, played football, and what I was going to say was he had 4 bouts prior to debuting in MMA. So Nate is very strict with his fighters. When they're going to go in MMA, you need to be prepared at a certain level, and so you're going to do a lot before you go do that fight. So this has been on the calendar for a while, and in the meantime, he's been doing boxing bouts and Muay Thai bouts to prepare himself to come meet Jesus Colleen tonight.
Yeah, he just had a lot to say about, you know, like how excited he was. He's like, there's something about punching somebody and, you know, taking them down and ground and pounding and using jiu-jitsu. He's just like super excited to test himself in MMA. And, you know, that kickboxing experience, that helps, man, because it's going to, he's been here before in a different situation where he's had a crowd watch him perform. And so it's just a little different. It's a different sport, but.
Yeah, and he feels confidence based off the fact of the guys who he trains with, like Tyler, who won earlier. And we heard Tyler, when he closed out his post-bout remarks, he was imploring his teammates from Evolution to follow after. And we'll see if Julian can. He's a New Jersey native. We pointed out how he has a football background, went to Maine with the idea of playing college football. Another situation where COVID really threw things off track, but now all of a sudden his fighting career is blossoming.
Yeah, he's an excellent athlete, terrific athlete. I think you'll see him do some kind of a handstand here. Yes, beautiful. He's a terrific athlete, and he will have that in common with Jesus Colleen when he comes in to the cage. Similar to his cousin in Sway Sotero, the Mexican flags are back out. He really embraces that Mexican heritage, and very proud Mexican fighter. So Jesus is making his way to the cage, and now the fans see him for the first time, and they're responding.
Yeah, I love this man. He's just this is a second fight and second time in the Coliseum, and he's aware of the showing he's having now. So he loves it, and he was just so appreciative of his fan base and all of his family and friends. And he says he hasn't weighed this weight since probably even middle school. No,
no, he hasn't. I told him we made the weight. I just said, hey, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah,
so proud of you. Just his journey. You can you see he's had a weight loss journey to get himself to this point. He was at a welterweight in his last bout. But we see there he played soccer in high school. Great kicker for that reason. BMT orange belt, and obviously you can tell he's a crowd favorite.
He suffered a really rough knee injury that put an end to his soccer career, and that's what led to part of his weight gain. And he was up to 250 pounds before he committed himself to the gym, and now he's completely transformed and ready to put his 1-0 record to the test back inside the Coliseum.
This fight has the makings of being a great fight. Yeah. If I had to put money on the table, we're going to get out of the first round in this one, but these guys are both going to come out and fight in the middle of the cage.
A couple of young, talented up-and-comers.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the Art of Scrap Lightweight Division. Sponsored by Ridge Napa, a family-owned auto parts store with a friendly and knowledgeable team that will always meet your needs. Shop local, buy local. And now, introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing yellow trunks, he comes in tonight making his debut. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall and officially weighed in at 155 pounds. From Egg Harbor City, New Jersey, Julian Connor time. And across the cage, his opponent fighting out of the blue corner, wearing gray trunks. He comes in tonight with a record, 1 victory, no defeats. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall and officially weighed in at 155 pounds. From Fort Wayne, Indiana, Jesus Collins. And your referee in charge, Rob Hines.
So Connerton, he grew up right outside of Atlantic City. It's easy, I think, maybe for people watching to forget right now. These are amateur bouts to start us off.
Yeah.
We got the pros coming later and guys with the UFC and Bellator experience, but the energy, the atmosphere here could be confused with Atlantic City or Las Vegas. But these are amateurs.
Yes.
And we're off.
Told you, you're going to see a lot of you. There's more than just the boxing, but the influences here are Mexican boxing and Irish boxing. And Julian comes in and makes contact right away. Just stepped in, kicked, and threw the overhand right. Now you hear Jesus' crowd getting in.
Crowd is into it. Colleen, so popular around here. He was invited by the local minor league baseball team, the Fort Wayne Tin Caps, to throw out a ceremonial first pitch before a game on Hispanic Heritage Night earlier this year.
And so far, Connerson's finding his range with that overhand right.
Yeah, that turning side kick he landed too was flush.
Real nice.
That's a good technique.
Jesus stepped in with an overhand right of his own, there in the pocket. And so far, in terms of finding the range, it feels like we see,
Big slip.
a slip and a miss. Shows his back. Shows his back.
He's not accepting here though. He's really trying to turn hard.
Putting a lot of pressure.
This position. He's trying to, looks like tripod up. Get that butt up in the air, yeah.
Yeah. Find the hand down, drag down.
He's controlling that choking arm, which I really appreciate too.
Oh, he told him to switch the body triangle. Now Jesus is going to work to turn into him. He's going to work to turn into him. Keep that.
Body triangle is almost in there.
Still keeping that arm. You're working to work his head level is an important thing when you're talking about jiu-jitsu. So right now,
he's in on his own single. Oh, big lift.
Oh, lift, but he doesn't ground him there. Now, don't know what happened there. Got turned around in the grappling exchange.
Now they're gonna throw.
Oh, he's stalking him down with his back on the cage. You got 2 strikers that end up in a grappling exchange there. I think Julian very excited to just get in and do the MMA reps, you know. And so you can hear Jesus' crowd starting to turn him. Oh, thought about spinning there. Julian did. Jesus kind of idling out here in the middle. Almost you want him to get back, moving forward. But Julian is kind of moving, backpedaling on the cage right now as well. So he needs to get moving forward too.
Julian's really aware of where he's at in the cage.
Yeah, and we've seen
although he's backing up.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He seems very aware. We have two kick attempts by Jesus where he's slipped and fallen down. So I wonder kind of what goes into that, if some sweat on the feet or what went into that. But 2 slips. Guys, I think it's going to happen. We're about to see our first, second round.
Don't jinx it.
Come on. Come on.
There it is.
We did. We made it. We made it. Congratulations. It's the second round. It's the second round, and I don't know if the crowd is cheering for Jesus or if they're cheering for what we're cheering for. It's the second round.
Right.
It's the second round.
Uncharted territory for us so far here at AOS5, and glad to see it.
Please, no fighter, don't pull out due to injury in between rounds. We're gonna get there.
By the way, just to talk about the surface inside the octagon, I was talking with fighters before the show tonight, and they were raving about the condition of it, not slippery. Of course, now here we are, bout number 7. There could be some perspiration at that point, a couple minutes into the fight.
Yeah, you never know. I've dealt with some fighters that have just really sweaty feet and can cause more, them to slip more.
Yeah, I think so. And it is a thing. You sweat on the bottom of your feet. This isn't a canvas. It's it's a pulled tarp, so that can happen. First round would gauge Julian did the time with the control, did good work in the beginning of the round. I would gauge that to be Julian's round.
Yeah, I agree. Looks like the refs trying to get some perspiration off the cage, maybe some water.
Oh, some water spill. Yeah, love having you. Love having you. Julian walks over and says, "Hey, thanks for having me, bro." So
Mike is the matchmaker.
Yeah. These guys are great.
He's loving it, enjoying his time in the cage.
Yeah. But they're showing love out there, but they're just also both.
Oh, spinning back fist.
Oh! Oh, big slam out of it.
The head comes out.
Yep. Slammed out of the guillotine, but went into the guard. The head came out regardless. He said, I do takedowns too.
But Julian's really trying to push on that head, work his way to the cage.
Oh, he's got that knee. If he passed that foot over like a lockdown from the top, he could hold in control.
There's also a sneaky knee bar here. I'm not sure he does that,
But I will say, now Julian is where his team is comfortable. They grapple well on the cage. Now, you never want to have somebody on your legs, sucking you under.
Right.
But I will tell you, if there's a place where the Evolution team is comfortable in the grappling, it's on the cage.
Yeah.
On the cage.
Yep. We've seen it time and time again with this camp. And they spoke about it. They spoke about it on Thursday on Media Day.
And see, you hear him say head up. What you want to see here is you want to see head level. The head level is so essential. Jesus is going to let him up and say head level is so essential. If Jesus wanted to push him down and control him, he had to have it higher, right? So Julian, even though the takedown and control happened for Jesus, judges will score that, Julian really won that little chess match to break his head level down and get himself back up.
Ooh, and a good rear body kick from Jesus.
Yeah.
Got me saying it now.
Both these guys very measured, but also seem more experienced than you would expect for a debut and a 1-0. Big kick from Jesus. That one, you heard it. That really smack.
That last low kick, I don't know if it means anything, but Julian kind of didn't throw it as hard as he could.
Okay.
And I don't know if his foot's hurt. He kicked a knee. It just seemed like he was kind of pulling it. And I've been there in sparring.
Oh. So you see Jesus really turn up the pressure now. He's got him like on the warning track. Has him on the warning track, and now Jesus crowd is getting involved.
Oh. Fans chanting his last name.
Oh,
ooh, big hook cross and a return.
Yeah. It's a scrap. Now, I said when we started we would see Mexican boxing versus Irish boxing, and both those styles are moving forward, okay? So you expect to see like more competing for that pressure. Jesus is definitely winning the forward pressure exchange. It looks good for the judges, but Julian's still staying measured and within himself.
Right, and Jesus acknowledged the knee because he's trying to go into the head with it.
Oh.
Careful with that knee.
Yeah.
15 seconds left in the second round.
Are we going to see a third round? Okay.
Looking that way.
On the warning track, they're holding the posture that they've held since about the middle of the first round when Jesus got up. We did it. This is
still sailing.
Is it possible?
And we might be a round apiece for each man.
Yeah, so I do think you're absolutely right. You know, it's important for viewers to remember this. As we look at the replay, we're going to see Jesus stalking, overhand right, and he goes into that takedown. It's important for fans to realize that fights are scored by rounds, okay? Not the whole totality of a fight. So let's say that Julian wins the first round, and then he wins the first part of the second round, but the judges felt like that was a more decisive work. And then Jesus takes over. He could, even though he would win the third round decisively, he would lose the fight because it's scored by the rounds. So I think we have 1-1 going in. I think that's probably pretty clear that we're looking at 1-1 going into the third round.
Well, as we celebrate this bout getting to round 3, again, a reminder for those in the Fort Wayne area that after tonight's main card, Puck Body against Lapsley, the party is across the street at the Holiday Inn. Mike, one question for those who aren't familiar, what's the difference between a Mexican boxing style versus an Irish boxing style?
It's the cultural backdrop of those boxing. So when the styles came up, you know, when you think about Irish boxing, you think about Boston, New England area. So you see that like style, hands up, come forward. They're very similar, and just each cultural backdrop, they celebrate. They're proud of their fighters, and so a lot of similarities in those. Think of like Gotti and Ward. Come forward, let's fight.
And here these guys are.
Ooh. Heard him with that one right down the middle, and then rushed him to the cage. And Jesus stayed right there with it, but he definitely got stung with that shot.
And now in the third round, this is when takedowns get harder, right? Because of fatigue, and he scores. But again, Jesus looks to not settle. He's trying to scramble up.
Yep, get a shield in, scramble up.
He needs to push that head away there.
Yes, he does.
And the Wizard gets him up.
Yep. You said push that head away. So much of grappling is about head level, right? It's about having the higher head, having the lower head, certain positions, and nevertheless, he used that.
And now he's on the offense.
I'm trying to fix that. Yeah, glove malfunction. The ref doesn't call time, so they just keep going.
A minute through round 3. And here for an amateur fight, this is the final round.
Yes. Oh, takedown.
Well-timed takedown.
Well-timed. You're seeing Jesus use that shield again. Use that shield.
Oh, and he sweeps.
Think about if he's going to pressure or if he's going to let him up.
I think he needs to engage
yes,
in the
he
guard
does, because he can still
pass, and
he can,
this is what he's doing. Some big shots here.
Colleen landed that one.
Mount. And his fans are responding. He's all the way in mount. This is where he won his last fight. But he's chasing a sub. He's not sitting, posturing and punching, which I think in this position, reversal. Reversal.
This
wow.
is close.
Close. I think Jesus needs to get something going from the bottom.
And that was a legal kick from the downed opponent.
Yeah, he came up.
He was on his feet, yeah.
Both have had their moments. Now 50 seconds remaining.
Maybe a little fatigue settling in for both. You see Julian's arm starting to rest on the cage. Jesus is still working to get his head level high, but he has some work to do here to convince the judges. The 35 seconds left. He's got to get that head away and get himself back up.
Colleen won by a finish earlier in his debut.
Oh, he's getting on the head.
He's hunting.
He's hunting the sub. I don't know how close it is, though. I don't know how close it is. He wants that anaconda choke is what he's hunting for.
Passes him by, takes the back.
15 seconds.
Drags him off, but he's still on the back. He's going to work to turn in. We're going to finish here on the floor. We're going to have our first fight that goes to decision, I think.
Connerton and Colleen go the distance, and the judges will decide it.
Nate Libby comes by. Great fight.
With one other word in there, too.
Yeah, we can't repeat that one. I did the censorship myself. Great fight. It was a great fight. He didn't lie. You know, you see right now, Julian's down, taking a knee after the fight. Both fighters push the pace. We saw a great representation of both of their cultural backdrops bringing to the cage. We saw a lot of Jesus pressuring forward. The takedowns for Julian were big in the first and the third. That would be a lot for Jesus to really overcome those things on the judges' scorecard. But you never know when it does go to the judges' scorecard. Look at that shot from Julian. And then that one, you know, was more just Jesus tying up. And here's that moment there, the kind of defensive at single X, drops the weight to him and goes to mount, but then ultimately was reversed.
Yeah, the timing on the takedowns were really good, but I mean, this is still a closely scored fight, and I think it mattered. Round one mattered.
Round one, how they scored it, right? Because we had takedown, go to the back, control him there, then Jesus gets up and he starts stalking, right? The last, I don't know if that was 45 seconds or so, how it looks as they're going along the outside of the cage.
It's close.
Body language, Connerton's corner feels like they won. We'll see.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards. One more time, Fort Wayne, a round of applause for these two warriors. We go to the scorecards, and all 3 judges score this contest 29-28 for your winner by unanimous decision, Julian Connerton.
The local
I'm here with the winner, Julian Connerton.
It's the right call.
What a fight. Wow. Tell me about how you're feeling right now. I feel good, man. It's crazy coming all this way, man. The traveling was crazy and all that, but I just want to give a big thanks to my coaches, teammates, and all my family back home in Jersey. It's my biggest support system from miles away. I love y'all.
Is this your first fight in the Midwest? How's it been traveling so far for a fight?
It's my first MMA fight. I've had 4 Thai fights. Traveling, like I said, it was tough adjusting to it all, but we come out here and work, and that's it. It's just work. That's all it is. It's simple.
Is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, thank my coaches and all that, man. All the little kids was telling me to gritty, so if you want me to hit one.
Guarded.
Julian Connerton.
And we out.